Okay, good afternoon. My name is Hye Ri Choi. Just to present myself one more time, or Isabella. And today I'm here to present my study. The research that I did is titled The Effects of 18-Day Program on the Improvement of BMI and Exercise Capacity. First of all, before we start, I'm going to ask a question. What is New Start? Probably most of you guys know what is New Start, and we know that this is the acronym of certain principles. But so we can just wake up a little bit our brain, we're gonna go over it again, okay? So we're gonna start with N first. N stands for nutrition. Good job. E stands for exercise, and then W. Good job. S, what we have right now outside. Sunlight, sunshine. And the first T is temperance. A stands for air. And the R, rest. And the T, that's great. Good job. So this New Start is a program that is live-in and also lifestyle change program with a strong scientific foundation that it helps prevent but also recover from the diseases that people can have. Additionally, the 8 principles that we just said right now helps to change a person's lifestyle, and those principles are based on biblical principles of God's nature and how He created man. So now, my second question is how this New Start program can fight obesity, which is the main issue here in this study. First of all, we're going to define what is obesity. Obesity and overweight is defined as the abnormal or excessive fat accumulation, and it can be measured by the body mass index, or also called BMI. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later, more in detail. So anything that is 25 or over BMI is going to be considered as overweight, and anything that is over 30 is going to be considered as obese. Obesity is a worldwide disease, and we all know that. Even according to the World Obesity Atlas 2022 says, 1 in 5 women, 1 in 7 men will be obese by 2030. And 2030, it's only 7 years away from now. It sounds far away, but it's not that really. Now we're going to talk about our country here, United States. In United States, 1 in 5 deaths each year are caused by obesity. And obese people are more prone to have health issues or diseases, such as heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. So the study that we did was to examine how the 18-day program called New Start can further affect on a person's life in general weight and also exercise capacity. So for us to understand better this issue of obesity, there are 2 variables that we have to understand first. The first one is the one that we just mentioned before, the body mass index, also called BMI. This can be measured dividing the weight in kilograms by the height in meters squared. And probably you have seen this chart before, the BMI chart. It looks really colorful, right? There are 5 categories of underweight, healthy, overweight, obese, extremely obese, and according to your height and weight, according to the BMI that you have, you can be categorized in these 5 criteria. But now, why is this BMI important for us? A high BMI can indicate a high body fatness. And then the second reason is the BMI screens for weight categories that may lead to health problems. But watch out, there is something important for us to know here is that the BMI will not diagnose the health of an individual. Our second variable is the thing called METs, or also called metabolic equivalence. This is the ratio of your working metabolic rate relative to your resting metabolic rate. Metabolic rate is the rate of energy expended per unit of time. It's one way to describe the intensity of an activity or an exercise. Let me explain this a little bit more. I'm going to give you an example. Right now, you guys are sitting still, right? Just listening to me. One MET that is also called the resting or the basal metabolic rate is the energy you spend while you're sitting at rest, like right now. So right now, you're using that 1 MET. However, so when you're doing an activity that the MET value is, for example, 4 or 5, let's say that is 5. That means that you are using 5 times the energy that you will be using if you were just sitting still. How is this measured? So the MET's value are obtained through exercise stress testing. As you can see here in the picture, the participant or the patient will be asked to exercise, walk or run according to the situation throughout the test while connected to a treadmill's electrocardiogram, or also called EKG, equipment. And the physician sees the amount of oxygen and the blood flow that the heart is getting. So this is important, in other words, because the test will show how well the heart response in certain circumstances. Now going a little bit more in detail about the study that I did is demographics. So the participants, the data that we recollected was from August 2015 to November 2020. And the total participants were 2,080 participants. The gender was 718 males, 1,360 female, and 2 who not indicate any. The average age was 59.3 years old, and the mode was 69 years old. And the location that most of the participants came from was United States, having a total amount of 1,824, and most of them coming from here, where we live, California. And the second country was Canada with a total of 86 people. There was indeed an exclusion criteria that we excluded from the data. And those criteria were, first of all, those who did not complete the program. They might have started but not completed. And then the second criteria was those who opted not to share their information for further studies. And the third criteria was the initial measurements from those patients were taken, but not for the final one. So there was no final measurement. Now we're going to talk about the results. So if we see the first table, which tells us the change of the BMI throughout the 18-day program, we can see that there is a mean initial BMI 28.78, final BMI 28.013, and a delta BMI of 0.766. The standard deviation for the initial one was 7.799, and the final one was 7.361, with a delta BMI of 0.718. The second table shows the same thing, but in the change of METs. The standard deviation was 4.020, and for the final METs was 5.338, with a difference of 4.322. And we did one more test, which is the per samples t-test, with the 2 measurements of the delta BMI and the other one with the delta METs. The t-value was 4.868, with a p-value of less than 0.01. Now, here are some conclusions. Overall significant improvement in BMI and METs levels in patients. And also we demonstrated that the effectiveness and the importance of New Start Lifestyle program in reducing obesity. There were some limitations for our study, and I just picked 2 of them, the main ones. The first one was for the program to success, it depended a lot on the individual applying those principles that they learned throughout the 18 days on their own lives. And the second limitation was there was no control group. So going forward, more studies about improving or maintaining the BMI and the METS level can be done for those people who are done with the program and they go back home. And then the second could be that we can create a control group to have more accuracy in this study. So, improvement of exercise capacity and the decrease of obesity in today's sedentary society is really important. It's crucial. And through this study, we learn a little bit more that it can be approached through natural means that are more affordable and with less or no negative side effects. So to finalize, I'm going to ask you one more time this question. What is New Start? New Start is more than just an 18-day program that they do here at Weimar. And it's more than just an acronym. Not only it will be able to reduce the obesity, but also it will help to change someone's life. Thank you.
If you have a question for Isabella, you're most welcome to ask. Probably we can take 3 questions.
Wow,
Right.
I explained really well.
Was this study done in one particular program, or do you accumulated information from several ones?
Oh, so this was from the New Start here at Weimar from 2015 to 2020. So it was different sessions of New Start program.